Now, unfortunately, I can't repeat the title of this video, even using a bleep or anything, because YouTube is really cracking down. So I'm not even gonna try it.
Don't want to get demonetized.
I'm gonna get into this with a very simple statement. It is an opinion and an observation, but a statement nonetheless. Designer brands are the ones who typically discontinue fragrances. If we look across the board, it's usually from designers. Have you ever wondered why? I believe it's simple. It has to do with their top objective.
Money.
The bottom line. The company will not continue to invest money into producing a product that is not bringing in a viable revenue. This is a standard for good business. It's nothing new. It makes sense. But why is it less common in niche perfumery? Niche brands don't bring in anywhere near the revenue as some of these big designer houses like Chanel and Dior and Valentino and Gucci. These are billion-dollar companies, yet they manage to keep most of their entire catalog on the market. Now, this is not to say that discontinuation never happens in the niche world. It certainly does, but it does not seem to be as volatile and as frequent. Maybe there's older fragrances that could be vaulted and then re-released. There are some fragrances that are truly discontinued, something like Amouage's Bracken Man, which you can still find out there on the discounters, but if you search Amouage's website, you're not going to find it. Now, discontinuation is not only the result of sales, it can also be the result of accessibility of ingredients, as well as changes in ingredient regulation. There's a governing body known as IFRA, and they regulate what brands can put into fragrances. And if there's an ingredient that pops up that is known to have some kind of allergic reaction in some amount of people in a study, they pull that ingredient, and no brand that operates under IFRA's regulations can use it. Nonetheless, my theory for why niche brands discontinue less is this. Bear with me here. Many of them seek to create perfumes to cover a wide variety of tastes. They cast a wide net, but they do this within the parameters of their aesthetic. Many of the best niche brands, in my opinion, have an olfactory signature. When you smell one of their fragrances, you know where it's coming from. And they can even achieve this despite maybe using multiple perfumers across their catalog. So once the consumer steps into the olfactory world of one of these brands, they will experience cohesion and consistency. This yields expectation. Consumers want to be able to expect something from their buying experience with a particular brand. They want to know that, oh, if I buy X brand, I know I'm going to get Y type of product. Doesn't mean it's the same every time, but I think you know what I mean. A brand might have a bestseller, and that fragrance might outsell all of the rest of their catalog by a wide margin. This fragrance can most simply be referred to as a gateway fragrance, and there are many of these on the market. A few of them are as follows: Tom Ford Oud Wood,
This obvious one here.
Parfum de Marly Layton, Mancera Cedrat Boisé, Amouage Reflection Man, and the list goes on. Now, I don't know if every brand's top hope when creating a new fragrance is for it to become a phenomenon, but I don't see why they would be averse to the idea. And if they manage to do this, to create a phenomenon of a fragrance, they have the chance of getting their buyers interested in exploring the rest of their catalog, including and especially their lesser sold offerings. As long as the consumer experiences the cohesion we mentioned earlier, they're more likely to stay in the bubble of a brand and explore, again, the rest of what they have to offer. The top brands do this well, and therefore they're able to maintain their catalogs, because there's still chances that those who get into their brands will still find interest in just about anything that they're creating. Obviously, some still more than others. Now, I know there's a lot of economics involved here that I don't truly understand, and I honestly did not have the time to research. In terms of what it costs for a niche brand to keep a fragrance on the market versus a designer brand, if there's just other parties involved, other pressures that dictate how a brand can move and operate with their products. So forgive me for that, but let's continue. So everything I just described as far as the cohesive experience for the consumer and how that benefits niche brands, we don't always see this in the designer realm. Ironically enough, cohesion and consistency are kind of hard to come by when catering to the masses, as designer brands typically do. Many brands offer a lot to choose from, but not necessarily a variety. Chew on that for a second. They might often treat their next fragrance as their only fragrance. That is a hyperbole, but I think you know what I mean. And especially with so many flankers, the previous fragrance launch instantly becomes redundant and maybe even obsolete. And therefore, it's at risk of being discontinued. And it makes you wonder if all their fragrances were ever meant to last on the market, especially today. It seems to be more volatile today. It's all too easy to see a fragrance pulled even after a year or two. Take, for instance, YSL's La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique. This came out in 2021. By 2022, it had been discontinued, at least in the North American market. It's hard to find now. A year, 1 year. We may not know exactly why that happened, but the fact that it happened is enough. I could go on and on and on, but I want to end it here, and I want to know what you think. Do you notice the same tendencies that I discussed? Or do you observe something completely different or somewhat different? I'm only one set of eyes from one place in the world. So I would love your perspective too. Let's weave a landscape here. Let's have a discussion about it. So let me know down in the comments, and thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.